Rewind. Hey, let's rewind the tape. Let's go back to what I was discussing earlier. Let me turn this light on. Not needing recognition. Not needing others to recognize what it is you do in relation to your artwork, your art pieces. Didn't I just discuss that? So I said rewind the tape. Anyways, when I used to sing and rap and dance, a lot of that I would post on Facebook, right? I was doing marketing, I was doing promotions, and I was doing basically advertising, right? I think that was like 2008, 2009, somewhere around that time, even 2010, somewhere around back then. But I used to do a lot of that promotions, and what is weird about that is when I did promote, it wasn't for fame, it wasn't for the purpose of fame. I was doing that because I know that's what is needed when you're running a business, marketing, advertising and promotions. I knew me carrying out those activities was the most important thing in relation to business, but my intention wasn't to become known all over the world based off of just for my talent, because at the end of it, I knew that if someone did sign me to something major, I knew I would be forced to provide a service. So when I was doing a lot of practices in the past, once again, I was doing it as a practicing part of like a business model. That was when someone just asked me that, and I also watched a video in relation to not needing public recognition, not needing for everyone to know your name everywhere you go, not being recognized, not needing the fame is basically what was the discussion. Because me, I'll be 40 before you know it. I'm kind of close to 40, not completely, but I don't need everyone to know who I am. If that comes, then that comes. But it's not like I have such broken self-esteem. See, when it comes to chasing fame and the notoriety, I think many people do it because they don't have self-esteem. I think there's a lack of self-esteem. It was something that they were not given in childhood. And therefore, they need people on the outside to tell them who they are, what they are, or how much they love them. And yet, as I question right now, in relation to the last video I just made, for some weird type of way, I never needed that. I never needed that. Oh, and I forgot to mention I play piano. You see what I'm saying? Like, I have so many talents. And those talents are basically, I focus on them every single day. That's what I do. But have you seen any videos of me literally singing on the camera all day, or rapping on the camera all day, or even playing piano? And not only that, I can read sheet music. This shows how much I'm chasing or interested in chasing fame, because I have skills that many people close in my immediate family didn't even know that I have. Many in my immediate family don't even know that I can read sheet music. They don't even know that I can play piano. They've heard beats, and some of them that have heard the instrumentals that I made, they didn't even believe that I made them, because that's how good they were. So it shows, for when you have high self-esteem and you don't need others to recognize the fact that you have gifts and skills, that speaks something. I don't know what it speaks fully, but it speaks that you don't need others to approve you, because you've already approved yourself. And it's weird because there's been guys that have asked me, because I write love songs. Oh, I forgot. Did I say that already? I can't even remember what all I said. But yeah, I write love songs too. There's been guys that have came to me about writing love songs for them, right? And it just, to me, it's all interesting. All of this whole discussion is interesting because for every talent that I have, it's like I don't need that recognition. It's like I don't depend on it, because I know just as easily as it could come, is as easy as it could be taken away. Because every day a new taste appear on the scene. There's 11, 12-year-old kids that have the same talent as me, and they're far greater in their talent and their skills than me, even though they're younger than me. They're a new taste stepping on the scene. So I know that if I was out here and everybody knew my name, I'm easily to be replaced, which means I would have to up my game and go do something that has something with real business, whether it's to become an affiliate with, say, somebody like Apple, or become an affiliate with somebody in business like Nike, or become an affiliate with somebody in business, say, I don't know, in relation to selling phones or something. High technology selling phones. That's in relation to people wanting to be famous and bypassing business because they needing recognition. Why need recognition? Why need that? The guy in the video I just saw, he was just speaking on that. He said create without needing to be recognized. Because see, I think what many people forget and they fail to realize is just because you have talent, that don't mean that that is all there is. Yes, it's a blessing and it's a gift, but do you know how many people is on this earth that have gifts and talents? And I had to myself realize that. And not chasing fame, I had to put the numbers together. 7.6 billion people on this earth, all around the globe, not just here in the United States. And many people do have talent. I have a family member that's right in our immediate family. She's right in my immediate family. She just recently, she's on TV right now. She's an actress on TV right now. And people are seeing this show, and I don't want to put her name out, and I don't want to put the name of the show out, because I don't want people going hounding after, say, I post this on social media, going hounding her, trying to get, because that's what people do. They're so engrossed and enthralled with fame. They have to be all over people to try to get their next come up. So I just try to not post or put out my family people like that. But anyways, as I was saying, it just, the business aspect. See, those of us that don't need recognition, we focus on the business, as I stated in my last video, because we know if a career don't last at singing or rapping or bopping around on stage, we know that we can fall back on business and sell some service in relation to that. You see what I'm saying? But besides all that, I myself am trying to figure out, maybe it's because I am an INTJ personality in relation to the Myers-Briggs. I'm thinking that has to be why I am the way I am. Because what if I am never recognized? Why would I want to wake up and live my day with just a focus on being recognized? That's a life wasted to me. Because sometimes you can put so much, I don't know, just like a minute ago, I was on one of the social media platforms. Somebody had mentioned to me about signing up for it. And I got on there and I'm like, this is so whack and this is so lame. Why would I want to sit and watch other people's pictures and try to be discovered? Why would I want to do that? You know what I could be using that time for? I could be using that time to continue to build upon my own skills. Now, if I want to get on there and market and advertise myself as a business, that's something else. That's a whole different thing, because remember, business is about building. Now, when it comes in relation to arts, that as well is in relation to building. If you are running yourself as a business, marketing yourself as a business. I'm so over watching people just bouncing around with a microphone, talking about they have some type of talent, and needing to be completely recognized. I'm not trying to judge. Anytime I make a video in relation to stuff like this, I'm not trying to judge. So don't take it as me trying to judge. I'm not trying to judge, but I'm just basically saying Don't feel that you need to be recognized in life in order to get started to do something. Don't feel like you need to be recognized to continue to do what it is that you do. Don't feel like you need to be recognized just to get the day started. Don't feel like you need to be recognized just to walk out your front door and get in the car and go to work in the morning. Just don't feel like you need to be recognized. That's the message. That's the point in the position is I think for black people, I think a lot of that goes back to slavery. When over the generations, if your generations have, say, in the past, everyone's been torn down in relation to slavery, then in a sense you feel you have no self-esteem. And so what you do is you try to go chase self-esteem. But self-esteem can't be chased on anyone's stage. Self-esteem can't be chased on anyone's TV. Self-esteem can only be chased within. It can only be found within. It can never be found outside. Because remember, anything that's external, that's given, can also be taken away. And I just remember me, when I was a child, certain times I wasn't given attention. I was starved of attention at times as a child. You know how, say, a mother holds their child and they adore their child and they say, oh, I love you, or oh, this, and that. As a child, I wasn't really given that. And it was kind of, for me, when I was younger, I kind of, used to brood and be crying about that. But I take that today in my 30s as an advantage. Because I can stand out in the middle of the street amongst a million other people. I can stand amongst a million other people and not feel that those people need to be focused on me. You got what I'm saying? Sometimes the things that happen in our past, it happens for a reason. It helps to build our future. Because for me, no one knows what the future holds. They really don't. I don't even really know what the future holds. And I'm not going to block it. But with me saying, me not getting that affection at that tender young age, not receiving it, I'm able to look at business with a different perspective, a very independent mind when I view business. I'm able to stand in a crowd of millions and billions of people and not feel like I need to be the star of the show. And this is what happens, once again, experiences, it builds you, it changes you, it shapes your mind, it has to. Helps you survive. So I feel like when many people feel like they need to be recognized, I think many people do that because they wasn't given love or whatever in their childhood. Something wasn't given. Something was missing or something. And it was never replaced. See, there's many of us, the things that we lacked in our childhood or didn't receive, many of us got to a place of maturity in replacing that thing. Because we knew and understand if we didn't replace it, no one else could give that to us. You got what I'm saying? Because if I go back to 2008, which was when I was doing a lot of music, real heavy rapping and singing, it never crossed my mind of having fans love me. It just seemed, even though I was marketing and advertising every single place online, on all social media, and even in forums and music forums, that never once crossed my mind, what if I had the world just completely love me? Like that was not important. What was important was, how was the business aspect gonna go? Because I know behind all this is a contract if it comes. How am I gonna be able to look behind my own behind to make sure my own backside to make sure no one tries to stab me in the back or take full advantage of me? That was the first thing. That was at the forefront. More than trying to have people say, "Oh, I so love you and I adore you." Like that, that's fine. That's something to be appreciated. and you serve that person. As I said in the last video, you serve that person, or however many of them, but you don't seek out to be recognized. That's supposed to come naturally. Got what I'm saying? You focus on building and paving the way for yourself, and trying to, look forward, not look behind you. And you allow, if that is meant to come, then you allow that to come to you. That's something that you don't just force. Or I'm going to force myself to go be famous. I'm going to force myself to put myself in famous people's spaces so that they can make me famous. They can sniff that millions of miles away. And what that does is that pushes them. They'll say, oh, hi, what's up, and take pictures with you. But what they'll do is they'll push you away, because they're constantly dealing with all type of fans. I'm talking about famous people. They're constantly dealing with people that's trying to get from them. So when you all up in someone's space and they're famous, they just push you away. That repels, because it's only so much that they can give to you. But yeah, recognition. It's not, I mean, I don't know. Everyone does it different. But I'm not speaking, when I speak in relation to art, I'm not speaking on people that create stuff with their hands. I'm not speaking on people that do other type of arts outside of singing and rapping. When I speak on in relation to what I'm speaking to, I'm speaking in relation to people that sing and they rap on stage. Okay? And more so the rapper, because when somebody says they're going to do a career in rap, I'm like, are you serious? That's not to bash a person, but I'm like, are you a career in rap? So are you talking about you're going to rap and then go get some endorsements? I mean, like, what is going to happen with that? There has to be more. There has to be a business model. You got what I'm saying? If you're going to do something in relation to that to be recognized, you disconnect. There's a disconnect. See, when I was doing it, I did it as a disconnect. When I put out my music, I knew that my music was separate from me, but although it was connected to me, it was a product, and I was the human. So when people were all over the product, I allowed them to be all over the product. You got what I'm saying? You have to understand that there has to be a disconnect, because if not, if you let fame consume you, that's how people get on drugs and they die. That's what happens. You got to understand the connection and the disconnect, what a product is and what the human is, and how to be connected as well as how to be detached from it. I know I just repeated myself, but some people misunderstand that because they don't really understand business enough to know. You are selling a product. You are not selling yourself. The human themselves, they do the business transaction. Once the product is on the table holds the product, but the product is not you. The product is an extension of you. So you don't invest yourself to be so consumed and so obsessed with whether someone is loving you or rejecting you, because that's just a product. Got what I'm saying? That album that you recorded and you put it on the table, that is a product. That is just an extension of you. And I say that because it's not in human form. It's a CD with the sound of your vocals as well as a photograph of you. It's an extension. It's not you. It's not human. People don't understand this. That's why it helps to get your mind right before you try to go and become famous. Because if you don't understand what I just said, then you are automatically setting yourself up for failure. How could I walk around wanting to be recognized and wanting to be famous, and yet I don't even understand the disconnect of the human from the product? The human sells the product. You got what I'm saying? The human sells the product. Once the photographer take a picture of me, that picture once again is an extension and is disconnected. Once you learn and understand that, then you go chase fame. You don't chase it backwards. That's why many people's not winning. You don't understand. The human is of value. Even if this human here standing is a business entity. I know being a human, when I say that I'm a business entity, that business entity here standing is speaking, but it's an extension of the human. It's an action. The human just is. You see what I'm saying? Humanness is just is. Me being a human standing here, I just am. But a business entity, I operate. I put forth action to make things come into fruition. If you don't understand something, like my father used to say, if you don't understand something, say you don't understand. Because to not understand is to be at a loss. But yeah, don't chase recognition. Build recognition within, and everything will flow to you in time. This is like part 2 to the first video I just stated before. Fame, and where are all the black businesses at? It's me, B1.